Hey friends, if you've been Googling best suburbs near Nashville, I'd be willing to bet that Hendersonville has come up over and over again. But why is that? People say that it is safe, family friendly, has terrific schools, and if you want that lake life, there aren't that many places in the Nashville area that you can find it, and Hendersonville is lake life like no other. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, here are some things that people don't tell you about living in Hendersonville. Is it too quiet for young professionals? What kind of house can you really get for your money? What's that commute like? Is it really worth the trade-off between living outside in the suburbs and getting into Nashville? What is that commute looking like? And finally, is lake life really as fabulous as it looks on Instagram? Or is it full of hot, muggy days and lots of bugs? Well, we're going to talk about all of those things right now. Hey, I'm Susan Thetford. I am a lifelong realtor, also a lifelong Nashvillian. I've helped dozens of families move to Hendersonville, but I've also helped dozens of families decide against Hendersonville as the best place for them. I'm going to give you the real story today about what it's like living in Hendersonville, from the schools, the commute, the lake life, all the things that are so important to you in making the decision to find what's the best community for you here in the Nashville area. Let's dive in and see if Hendersonville is the right place for you. Hendersonville is in Sumner County, which is just northeast of Nashville. Some of the other suburbs around Hendersonville are Gallatin, Goodlettsville, and Old Hickory. And Mount Juliet, as you see, is just across the lake, but that's in Wilson County. The commute into Nashville is about 30 minutes if you go the Vietnam Veterans Parkway or I-65, and of course, which of those you choose depends on where in Hendersonville you actually live. Hendersonville is super close to the airport, which is one reason that so many people really like it, especially if they commute a lot for their job, maybe out of state, or they just simply want to travel a lot and they want to be close to the airport. It is about 30 minutes away from Hendersonville. And again, it depends on where you live in the city, but that's a pretty close proximity. It is a mix of long-time locals, young families, retirees, and Nashville transplants. Those who've lived in one area of Nashville, maybe they outgrew the area, maybe it got too busy for them and they wanted a little bit more peace and quiet. Hendersonville has been a good choice for them. So let's talk about what really matters. Can you afford to live in Hendersonville? What are some of the costs involved with housing here? What can you expect? And is it something that fits within your budget? As of 2025, the median price of homes is $520,000. The median size home runs about 2,200 to 2,600 square feet. The average home age is 2005 to 2015. We don't have a whole lot of new construction, but frankly, that is changing and changing rapidly. The typical lot size is 1/4 of an acre to just under 1/2 an acre. You're going to find in styles of houses, you're going to find the brick houses, brick ranches, 2-story traditional homes, craftsman, some contemporary, not many. It's more of the 70s contemporary than the brand new contemporary of today. But again, that's changing. If you want some new construction, you need to check out some of the main new construction areas that my customers are loving. During Farms and Millstone. The prices for the new construction is running closer to $525,000 to $850,000. New construction is quite a bit more expensive, but they also tend to come with HOAs, whether you like them or not, and sidewalks, underground utilities, and community amenities that you don't have otherwise. Clubhouses, pools, trails, events in the community itself is something that many newcomers love and they can find in the new construction. If you want the lake life and you can afford to live on the lake, Indian Lake Forest and the Point at Hidden Point are two Hendersonville natives' favorite places to live on the lake. The prices run anywhere from $700,000, and that will not be directly on the lake, up to $2 million plus. Your direct lake access, private docks, and stunning views can be found occasionally, and that comes upwards of the $1 million price point. If you want a deal, then you're going to need to look for the older ranches, which are near Walton's Ferry. Those run around $375,000 to $450,000, and I'll tell you, that's a great way to get a good deal and then do your own renovations and updates. This is a perfect place for updating a home, getting into an area that you really, really love, putting in some of that sweat equity, and I think it will pay off for you greatly in the long run. Here's a tip. Things that people ask me about all the time is flooding in the Nashville, Tennessee area. Hendersonville, because it's on the lake, you might think there's a lot of flood problems. Yes and no. No.
No! God, please, no! No!
If you know what to look for and if you do your due diligence in finding it. So that's when you need to reach out to somebody who knows how to make sure you don't buy a home in the floodplain. That would be me. Let's look at some of the top neighborhoods that you need to know about. We touched on it a little bit. Durham Farms. This is a great place for new construction. This is a master planned community with those sidewalks and the amenities, swimming pools, pickleball courts. Prices run $550,000 to $800,000 for homes that are 2,500 square feet and more. Durham Farms is known for its really great family and community involvement within Durham Farms. There are a lot of Easter egg hunts and Christmas things to do, fall fests, family fun nights where they bring in food trucks for the late evenings. Ice cream trucks run through here all the time. So again, if we want to find a place that really is a sense of community, then this might be a perfect fit for you. Indian Lake Forest has older, very well-kept homes and a close lake proximity. Prices here run from $650,000 to about $1.5 million for the 1980s to 2000 builds. So again, 2000 sounds very, very recent to me, but 25 years old. You're going to find varying degrees of updates in each one of these homes. That's why the prices can vary so much. Also, that's where you can maybe get a lot more home for your money in a perfect location and then do some updates as you need, as you can afford to do them. Indian Lake Forest has large trees, is very peaceful, very private. Some of the reasons that people enjoy it so much. Let's talk about Millstone. Millstone has a very upscale feel, modern layouts, and community perks that the HOA does offer. The prices run about $650,000 to $900,000. The newer homes all have 3 bedrooms, up to 5 bedrooms. So many times people tell me I want to find at least a 4-bedroom home and I need a home office. It all depends on how we decide to do your searches for homes. Some of these 5-bedroom homes are really not used as 5th bedrooms. It's used as a guest bedroom is number 4 and number 5 is a home office. So if you need a 3-bedroom home, don't rule out 5-bedroom homes. It all depends on the layout. Let's look at Maple Row Estates. This is a more affordable community with great curb appeal. The prices run about $375,000 to $500,000. These homes were built in the mid-80s to early 2000s. There's a quiet streets, convenient location. One thing I've found that people are surprised about often, if you come from a larger city, somewhere in California, somewhere in New York, any larger cities, you're going to find Hendersonville doesn't have a lot of street lights. You're going to find any of these outlying suburbs don't have a lot of street lights. So, people often tell me it takes a while to get used to driving around here at night because it's not all lit up. You know what that means. You can see the stars. It's a great thing at night. They still live up there. Let's look at Bluegrass Downs. This is close to schools, close to shopping, close to great parks. Pricing $450,000 to $650,000. Have great resale values. Sidewalks, community charm, family friendly again. Lots of community events right there in Bluegrass, as in most of these areas that are the community HOAs. Let's take a look at the Point at Hidden Point. This is a private, gated, lakefront living community. Primo, luxury, $1 to $2 million homes with acreage. Many of them have docks that are right on the water. This gives you luxury. The buyers are boaters, probably, or they certainly want to have the lake view. Retirees and those who actually have their own boat to dock at their own private dock. Now, I've said many times, Hendersonville is on Old Hickory Lake, and that is the only lake in which you can dock that is within an hour and a half of Nashville. It's the only place that you can dock your own boat in your backyard. Percy Priest Lake, you cannot dock. Now, on both of these lakes, there are several places that you can bring your boat to, drive into, and take off from there, from the dock, but you can't have your own private dock. Something to consider. That's also a reason why the price point is so much higher in the areas that do have their own docking. So let's talk about who actually lives in Hendersonville. The average age is 39 years old. That was a lot younger than I was actually expecting. Lots of families, commuters, and remote workers. There's a big retiree presence at the lake. And again, who wouldn't want to retire on the lake, have easy access into town, have great health care, and have their own water frontage? Sounds perfect, right? Comes at a big price though, that's for sure. Hendersonville residents are suburban, pretty traditional, pretty conservative, active in community life, not hipsters. That's for sure. The people in Hendersonville who work typically either commute into Nashville, over to Gallatin, or they work remotely from home. There is no public transportation from Nashville to Hendersonville, so you're definitely going to have a car. The worst traffic patterns are around Indian Lake and Vietnam Veterans Parkway. Certain times of day they can be pretty rough, but it's not for a long distance. The streets of Indian Lake are basically the downtown hub, the center. There is no downtown really, but that's where people go to shop, to eat, to enjoy their time. That's basically the center of that area. So let's talk about the schools and education. Now again, as a realtor, I can't tell you which is the best, which is the worst, where you should be. You can go to greatschools.org and do your own research, but let me give you what is the general consensus. You then go from there. Sumner County schools are considered some of the best in Middle Tennessee. You have Indian Lake Elementary, which is a family favorite. Station Camp High is known for its academics and its sports. Oh boy, does it ever, known for its sports. And Merrill Hyde Magnet is very competitive, very high achieving, and their students really excel. You also have lots of private schools and early education centers. Now, Station Camp High is a place that I used to go to all the time. My son was playing both football and basketball, and Station Camp had some amazing athletes and amazing competition that, it was always a fun place to go to because we knew we were going to have to hustle and work really hard. Funny the things you remember as a mom, right? So the obvious next question is, what is there to do in Hendersonville? Well, you obviously have the lake and all the lake life things between water skiing, swimming, boating, camping, fishing, all that. That's totally a given. You also have Drake's Creek and Sanders Ferry parks with their ball fields, disc golf, and picnic grounds. The streets of Indian Lake have shopping, the movie theaters, restaurants, nail salons, dry cleaners, all the things you need for your day-to-day shopping. Constantly in the spring and fall, you have the farmers markets, freedom festivals, outdoor concerts on the summer weekends are just a few of the things, but truly Hendersonville is known for its outdoor life. Let's talk about the downsides. No area is perfect no matter where you're going to live, and Hendersonville has some definite downsides. One, if you're a nightlife partier, want to be on the town at night all the time, it's not for you. Hendersonville, after dark, is dark. The traffic can be super frustrating. Around those areas that I mentioned, Vietnam Veteran Parkway, it can be really irritating. If you have to commute all the way into Nashville on a daily basis, it may not be for you, unless you're really used to that long commute and you don't mind spending the hour in your car daily, AM and PM. Some areas are in the floodplains. Be sure to ask before buying. That's actually pretty easy not to have that problem, but don't go at it by yourself without knowing how to check things out. And that growth does mean more construction. That construction sometimes means longer school wait lists. Get on the lists pretty quickly, and that new construction also means that the green rolling hillsides that you may see right behind you on that very private property that you think you're buying may well change pretty soon. That's why you need an expert in your area who knows what's happening in the future in that area. Now, we can't know everything, but we can know what's going to the Planning Commission, what's just recently been bought up and is now going to be 400 new townhomes. We know that thing if you have somebody who's a local expert. We've got those. That's why you need to reach out to me. Still, the pros certainly outweigh the cons for the right buyer. So here's the final verdict. If you want a suburban lake town, excellent schools, strong sense of community, space to spread out, but still close to Nashville, a place to raise your kids or retire in peace, then Hendersonville is worth your serious consideration. But if you want bars, rapid transit, well, you got a problem with that one in Nashville, period, but also walkability, you may be happier in some of the many other areas that we can share with you. So what's next? Let's hop on a call. Let's talk talk to find out if Nashville really might be the right place for you. If you're not quite ready for that, then go ahead and grab this relocation guide. It's updated for 2025. It has places to eat when you're coming to visit, community events, local hotspots, shopping areas, parks, recreation, local attractions, all the things right here that you're going to want to have. And let's just see if Nashville is the next best place for you to hang your hat and call home. This is Susan Thetford. I'll see you next week. I'm here to give you just great info from a native who knows the area inside and out. Be sure to book your relocation chat right here. Like and subscribe for more Nashville Suburb videos and drop your questions in the comments. I always reply.